Joining us now from the company's headquarters in Santa Clara, California, is George Davis. He's the Chief Financial Officer of Applied Materials. George, thanks for coming on the show. Let's talk first off about the forecast. What does it mean for the industry here if you think sales could drop 3 to 5% next quarter from this quarter?
Well, Matt, what we're seeing is really a reaction to what's going on with consumers worldwide. If you look at the drivers for our customers and ultimately for our business, products like TVs, smartphones, tablets, these are critical devices. And what you saw for the first time sequentially was a drop in many of these devices in terms of unit demand quarter over quarter. However, if you look at the full year, you're still seeing strong demand, and we think ultimately the demand that's coming out of the emerging markets, the desire for mobility and these new devices is going to sustain investment in our markets and in our customers' markets. You know,
on the conference call, you guys talked about rising inflation in emerging markets, which is a problem not just for your industry, but really across the economy. Reduced consumer confidence, also an economic problem across the globe, and unrest in the Middle East. I mean, this is a long list of things to be concerned about. It doesn't all have to do with Japan. So is this the beginning of maybe a wider slowdown?
No, I think it's certainly a big headwind, and quite frankly, you look at that and you would wonder, why hasn't there been a bigger pullback? In fact, we're going to see a record year for us, not only in revenues, but the strongest earnings per share the company's ever generated as well. And I think if you look at the underlying demand trends, they're still very strong. The emergence of the emerging market consumer is real. I think the demand for mobility products is real. The desire for everybody to have a flat panel television is real. And so if you look at the year-over-year demand numbers, even in the middle of all of these headwinds, you're seeing very strong growth. Tablets are up as much as 200%. Smartphones are up 70% year-over-year. So very, very big growth in these markets. And I think those are the kinds of numbers that help us have confidence that this is really more of kind of a bump, and that the basic strength of the demand for these kinds of products is there.
You mentioned tablets, you mentioned smartphones, mobility. No talk, though, of PCs. I mean, we've heard of concerns from Hewlett-Packard, for example. Is the PC dead, George?
The PC's not dead. It's down, which is unusual. I think what you're seeing today is that the PC needs to innovate to compete with the tablet. You've got PCs pretty much with an unchanged value proposition, and you have this remarkable product, the tablet, out there that I think is cannibalizing some of the economics of the consumer. But I think you'll see the PC makers come back with Instant On and other improvements in the devices that'll make people start to want to upgrade their existing computers.
One thing that you must focus on as Chief Financial Officer that would seem to be not the main focus of a lot of other people is currency changes. Obviously, you're a chip maker or a chip equipment maker, but currencies have had a strong effect on a lot of companies' balance sheets, especially as we see more rapid changes in the value of the dollar. How do you look at that going forward? Because we've been hearing warnings from economists at the end of QE2 could mean a much stronger, even a big spike in the dollar.
Well, most of our products are sold in dollars. We do have some of our solar products are sold in euros, and we hedge our non-dollar exposures for the most part. So FX for us has not been a big factor. We do sell some of our products in Japan, so the strength of the yen is actually some of our products in Japan in yen, and so the strength there has been a positive. So FX is not a big issue for us in general.
All right. Hey, George, thanks so much for joining us. George Davis there, Chief Financial Officer of Applied Materials.